I've done a lot of debates on the online space in collegiate debate. I've done
Mm-hmm.
a ton of debates. This is the first time that
Mm-hmm.
I've been criticized for logical consistency. I think that it speaks to him being personally, once he personally made enough money. I think Bernie Sanders has a proclivity to say anyone with $1 more than him's immoral. But once he enters that class that he used to criticize, it's okay
So,
when he does it.
so
But
he's
it
a
doesn't
liar. You
affect
think?
me. It
So you
doesn't
think
really.
so you think he's a liar? So you think
No,
he's no no. Based on your definition, you think he's opportunist.
yes,
You
yes,
said okay. Do you think JD Vance is an opportunist?
yes,
You think JD Vance is opportunist?
yes.
That's crazy, Rob.
I start this up saying, name me one politician that isn't?
No, no, Rob. No, but there's not no the Rob. Respectfully, because we went to the Bernie side. So you think that the man that you are deeming an opportunist and that changes positions on recent years, flip flop on the position that he has towards the president that he serves, you think this man is going to be as the opportunity to be the best politician we ever had?
Yes, in my lifetime. You just conceded that Bernie Sanders is name me one politician that's not
No,
opportunistic.
I didn't concede he's an opportunist
But
at
you're
all. I
acting
just
like,
But
well, you could argue against it. It's clear by the nature of our argument that he is
no,
not
because we
just
don't
on him,
agree on the
not just on him being a millionaire, but on the border, on sort of his silence when it comes to billionaires in politics, when it helped the Democrats, on the fact that he called Democrats warmongers and corporatists, but then supported them almost wholeheartedly in 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2024. So in many ways, he himself is an opportunist, which I don't put that as a unique criticism of Bernie Sanders because I literally think it is the nature of politics for 99.999999% of them to be opportunists. That's how you win.
So you are okay with him being an opportunities and a flip flopper in like well actually let me change it. Why do you have so much trust on him since he changed his opinion about the president on the, like why do you trust that he's going to keep his word? You might believe on whatever he has to say right now. How do you actually have so much confidence that he's going to implement what he's saying right now when 4 years, 6 years ago he was talking shit about the same thing that he's supporting now? Why are you so confident about that?
He wasn't talking shit on the things he's supporting now. He was talking shit on a person. I believe his explanation that he thought that his character read of Donald Trump was incorrect. His policies have been remarkably similar, more so than the average politician. I think that almost all politicians change to be opportunistic, so I'm not going to uniquely hold that against JD Vance when that's done by almost everyone. I think that the reason that I have so much optimism for JD Vance is as follows. One, he's an incredible articulate person. Second, he is a very smart person. Third, he happens to share values I have coming from sort of rural America and understanding the hollowing out of these places and the hollowing out of manufacturing. Fourth, he understands the problem with the United States being the reserve currency and sort of the massive inflation of printing money. And he understands that this needs to be changed or the United States will quickly lose its status as a hegemon in the world. For those reasons, I think he'll be the most effective politician if he gets a chance. Now, anything could happen. He could die. He could change positions. Do I have 100% confidence in him? No, I don't have 100% confidence in any human being, only Jesus Christ.
So my question to you is, was he lying then or is he lying now?
I think he is mistaken then, but in the correct that if you can say he was lying, I think it would be a little bit of both. I think that he probably glazes Trump more now than he actually feels, and he was probably more detrimental to Trump back then than he actually felt, just like every politician. Was Kamala Harris lying when she was critical of Joe Biden in the primaries, or was she lying
she was running against him. This sir
never...
So it's
okay
no. Stop. It's a false equivalency. JD Vance never run against Trump.
Well, wait. JD Vance was supporting people that ran against Trump, and nonetheless, please, let me finish.
That's crazy.
Please, let me finish. So you're saying it's okay to be opportunistic and lie if you're directly running against the person?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then what's your question about?
Donald Trump supported Kamala Harris locally in 2011 and ran against her in the election in 2024. Once again, you are doing what you do. You are debate broing. You are trying to prove a point there's no point to make. What I'm telling you is this. No. Listen carefully. You have to admit either that he was a liar then or he's a liar now. You don't think he's lying? You think he was just confused and he didn't have enough information to actually give a fair assessment on the president?
What? Okay, two things. One, I don't have to admit he was a liar then or now. I could think that he was mistaken or changed his beliefs, and he's sincere in both of those. And second, even if I do think he was being opportunistic, I think that all politicians do that. You keep saying I'm debate broing. I'm remarkably consistent. I keep saying every politician's opportunistic. You're the one making excuses of, but when my guy does it, it's okay because he was running against him. When my guy does it, it's okay because he was talking about inflation. And the only person that's being remarkably consistent here is me. Let me explain it to you again. I think that every major national politician is opportunistic. I think when they are supporting people that are running against other people, they talk shit on them. When they're working for those people in their administration, they talk more favorably of them. I think that's true of Trump. Or I mean, I think that's true of Vance. I think that's true of Bernie. I think that's true of Biden. I think that's true of Kamala Harris. I think that's true of literally every politician you could think of. We see this all the time. The only person making equivocations and delineations is like, well, if you're directly running against them in a primary, then it's okay to be opportunistic. Or if you're talking about inflation or you believe a progressive tax rate, then it's okay to be opportunistic. You are the only person that's doing that. So the only person debate broing based on your own logic is you. I'm being consistent.
No. You are actually doing what he did. You are respectfully being willing, I don't know the word in English, but willful ignorant and saying, we don't have enough evidence to say this man is lying. You are being immoral and you are actually flip-flopping because you know what morality, you know what morality is? Acknowledging past mistakes. And if you can say that this man either was lying then or is lying now, you are proving that again, you are going to march with the team no matter what they do, because if I can prove that he's lying, he's not a liar. But when it comes to Bernie, when it comes to Obama, when it comes to all the Democrats, all of a sudden there's no nuance, they add the public statement there and they add the private statement on the other side. We don't do that, Rob. If Hillary Clinton comes around and says, I have a private position and a public position, you know what I do? She is morally wrong. There's a fact. You can have a public position in one day and a private position the other day that shows that you are a crook. So if this man has a public position in 2018 and in 2024 he has a completely different position, not just that he moved and grew like to the opposite side of the aisle, you as a moral person should say, this is clearly wrong and this is clearly a lie. Before you go, hey,
no, I'm going to respond to that before I leave.
I just want to say something to Jake. After you respond, can you play these like after that, like a 1 minute clip?
It's been in the backstage. Yeah,
after he replies. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Right. So then using the same logic, did you not just say that if you admit a past mistake, then that's something virtuous, that's something good?
Absolutely.
But you're saying when JD Vance says, I admitted that I was wrong there, that he's lying. Similarly, at one point here, you said that the inflation rate was 3,800% from 1971 to now. When I proved that that was wrong, you said, hey, I get it wrong. I think you're a liar. I think that the mere fact that you're claiming that you virtuously changed your position, you're lying. That's immoral. That's disgusting. Now prove that you're not.
You can prove a negative.
Right. So then when you say that you absolutely...
What are you doing wrong?
Let me finish. So then when you say you absolutely... That's what you're asking me to do, to prove a negative. To prove that J.D. Vance isn't lying when he said he changed his point. Now you just gave the rationale that it's impossible to prove a negative. Bro, so for you, let me finish. So for you, you want the good grace of us when you say, I'm a good person because I'll admit when I was wrong. And that's virtuous. But then when it comes to J.D. Vance saying I was wrong, you're like, no. He had to be lying. He has to be lying. And you're bad faith if you accept him at his word that he says he was wrong. But when it comes to me saying I was wrong, then I think that you should give me the grace to say, yes, clearly he admitted that he was wrong. Similarly, you have supported, you're going to play like, let me guess what you're going to do. You're going to have Jake play a clip of JD Vance saying bad things about Trump. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. So when I dig up clips of Bernie Sanders saying bad things about Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, you'll admit that he's immoral and he's lying when he now supports
you are going to tell me where is this inconsistency, and I'm going to actually talk to you.
Just asked you.
No, it's fine. No, we are going to do this, right? You are going to dig up those clips. And once you presented it, I'm going to put it in the context. I'm going to say this. No. Listen carefully. This is what I'm going to say. No, because this is not funny at all.
You're proving your own criticism.
I'm not proving, because Bernie Sanders once again he thinks that Hillary Clinton is a part of the establishment Democrats. He didn't change that opinion. He consolidated on the person that is running blue. That's all. Bernie Sanders never said, I am going to run this populist platform, and if I lose, I'm not supporting Hillary at all. Bernie Sanders thinks that you have to change the system from the inside. So he was clearly, as what he was going to do, I'm going to run against these people, and if I lose, I will consolidate to the Democratic nominee, because that's what I've been doing. And everybody does that on the other side too. The thing is, please stop. They don't go from one side of the aisle to the other. They don't say Hillary Clinton is crooked and she's a hoe and she's a bitch, and then on the next day she's a beautiful person and she's very intelligent and she's the nicest person in the planet. That's what Mr. JD Vance did with Trump. He went from you are the scourge of the earth, you are a loser, you are this, you are an idiot, to glazing his motherfucking nuts, because now it's populist. It's not the same thing. You are making a
It is absolutely the same thing. The only one making you're doing exactly what you criticize me of, which you say, you're equivocating, you're changing. My position has been all the while that when it comes to operating within the system, that people will change their mind and be opportunistic. JD Vance certainly would do that. So would Bernie Sanders. If I bring up clips of Bernie Sanders saying Joe Biden represents the old guard, he was a millionaire in 1971 when he was in the Senate, he represents corporate, then surely while he was working with Joe Biden while he was in the Senate from the years of 2021 to 2024, he would still have been making those criticisms, right? He would work with them, but still. Okay, can you show me one time?
There's a policy.
Real quick. Find me one quote of Bernie Sanders criticizing Joe Biden like that from 2021 to 2024. You do that, I'll shut my mouth. Go for it.
No. It's a fallacy, because corporate Democrats means that you are getting subsidized by big pharma, like that's what he means.
Sure.
Bernie Sanders not getting money from this type of.
What does that have to do with anything? If he's criticizing, listen, it's so frustrating because it's like, I don't think you understand your own arguments, or you're just like doing what you're accusing me of a debate. Again, listen, let me be real quick. I say, he said Biden was a corporatist. You say, yes, but he didn't glaze Biden. He would have continued that sort of criticism even while he's working within the system. I say, okay, then cool. We know that happened. It's not hypothetical. We know that Bernie worked with Joe Biden. We know that Joe Biden was in power in 2021 to 2024.
Yes.
So can you show me any comments during that time of Bernie Sanders criticizing Joe Biden like that? Your response is, But wait a minute. Bernie doesn't take money from Big Pharma. What the fuck does that have to do with criticizing Joe Biden?
Hey, you know what? And this is why I think now you're doing a conversation in bad faith to do the debate bro shit, right? No. Hey, Jake, think about this, right? Donald Trump talked shit about Kim Jong-un. For years, he threatened him. And no. He threatened him. He did a bunch of shit.
But he's not part of the Republican Party.
No. One second.
Okay.
He threatened him. He says the little man. He talked a bunch of shit. Said he's going to all that. And then a few years later, we are very good friends. We fell in love. We changed letters with each other. And I will repeat it again. You do deals with the people that disagree with you. You don't do deals with people that agree with you. Donald Trump and Marco Rubio are a clear example of people that didn't see eye to eye and now are working with each other. The difference is, once again, Mr. Bernie Sanders were not praising Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton on their policies at all. He was saying...
I'm not going to... You're saying I won't be able to find one praising of Joe Biden in 2021, or Bernie Sanders 2021 to 2024 praising Joe Biden.
You are going to find it. You are going to find it. No. I'm not going to see it. No. Also, okay. So, hey, Jake, are you going to find a statement of Bernie Sanders actually giving compliments on Trump about his immigration policy?
No, probably not.
Are you sure?
I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
Wouldn't that prove that even though he has his own stance and his own idealisms and doesn't like Trump at all, doesn't it prove that, hey, if this man is doing a good job or if this man has to do something, I'm going to actually give him praise? Go ahead and Google
change that though from the 70s to now, Fatty. Hold on, really quick, Fatty. Let's play the clip. Let's play the clip really quick that you brought up because I want to play the clip for you guys. Look, again, I never liked him.
It makes you think that at a fundamental level, this is sort of a he said, she said, right? And at the end of the day, do you believe Donald Trump, who always tells the truth? Just kidding. Or do you believe that woman on that tape?
No, I cannot stand Trump because I think he's a fraud. Well, I think he's a total fraud that is exploiting these people, who is a total fraud.
Like you said, I agree with you on Trump because I don't think that he's the person. I don't think he actually cares about folks.
Definitely, there is definitely an element of Donald Trump support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. I think there's a chance, if I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, that I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. I think that I'm going to vote for. I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
Okay, we cool? Great. Can I respond? Sure. Okay. He was mistaken about what he thought a Trump presidency would be. Once he saw 4 years of Donald Trump, even during it, he realized that it wasn't taking the white working class to a dark place, that he wasn't the things that he thought about. Now, notice so we'll talk about two things that Fatty did here. One was, notice how when I make the point that, like, we're talking about JD Vance has changed his position. I can't say this enough. I've clearly said this the entire point. Every politician is opportunistic. They will heavily criticize a politician, including on their side, when they think it benefits them and their side at that point. And then if that person wins and they think there's an advantage to working with that person, then they'll do so, thus being opportunistic. That's true of JD Vance. That's true of Bernie Sanders and everyone in between. He's the only person that's saying, no, the politicians he like aren't opportunistic in that way. Now, notice once I proved that his asinine point, so just see where we went here. I was like, oh, so you're saying that Bernie Sanders, who criticized Joe Biden as a corporatist, et cetera, then if he wouldn't be opportunistic and stop that criticism if all of a sudden Joe Biden got power and he had to work with Joe Biden. And his response to that was, but Bernie Sanders doesn't take money from pharmaceutical companies. When I point out, let me finish. When I point out the absurdity of that, his response to that is saying, but Donald Trump used to say Kim Jong-un was bad and now says he's good. What does that have to do with anything? Yes, let me repeat. Donald Trump is opportunistic. When Donald Trump thinks that he could glaze a foreign leader like Kim Jong-un or Vladimir Putin and then be aggressive to them, so say nice words but be aggressive because he thinks they're egomaniacs and that will lead to better outcomes for the United States, yes, he says that. When he thinks going against our allies and saying harsh things about our allies but still being allies with them in action is beneficial, yes, that's what he'll do. How is that contradictory to anything I've said throughout this entire debate that I think all politicians are opportunistic? You literally, every time that you make a point, right, you'll be like, oh, well, the reason Bernie Sanders isn't opportunistic for formerly saying in 71 that millionaires shouldn't be in the Senate, it was immoral, to now is because inflation. When we go through the numbers and prove, okay, even using those numbers, his position's asinine and he meets that position, you just completely change it. Yeah, but progressive tax rate. When I show that, okay, based on your own logic, Bernie wasn't criticizing Joe Biden in the same way he was when he was running against him or before he was running against him as when Biden was in office, your answer is, yeah, but Bernie doesn't take money from pharmaceuticals. These are non-sequiturs. You're getting blown out. You don't understand how an argument segues. Yes, and you're an absolute fool of yourself.
No, I know. I forgot where I was, right? I actually forgot where I was. Remember, right? I'm a regular citizen. I'm not a debate bro.
I don't believe you. I think you're lying. No. How about that?
No.
That's what you say to JD Vance. I just assume you're lying. And it's unethical for anyone to believe you now.
No, because I have footage of me actually doing debates. Like first, like I can say, like I have literally videotape of me saying 6 months ago, this is my first debate. I literally can prove it, right? But this is the difference between me and you. You are from the space of debates, so you are going to try to not contradict yourself. That's your mission. You don't care about trust. You don't care about right or wrong. You care about saying something on minute 1 and saying the same thing on minute 37, so you don't contradict yourself, and that's how you win debates, right? And I forgot I was talking with a person like this because when I asked you, did he lie? You didn't say he didn't lie because you don't think he's lying, and this is my opinion. You said it because you don't want to contradict yourself. So my question was a good faith question. 1 second, my question was a good faith question. My question was, if this man flip-flops so much, how can you trust him? How can the American people trust him? And you said, I don't think he was lying. I think, but you still think he's an opportunistic, which means, which one is it? Can the American people trust somebody that you call him an opportunist and a person that flip-flop on the last 5-6 years from one side to the other? Can they trust him? Can you answer that categorically?
I've done a lot of debates on the online space in collegiate debate. I've done a ton of debates. This is the first time that I've been criticized for logical consistency. That is amazing.
Wow.
The problem with you as a debate bro is that you're consistent through your whole conversation. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. Please, you have your chance to respond.
Guys, hold on. Rob has a claim. This is the first time that he's been criticized on this. I'm just curious on this here. Really quick. Fatty, you'll get the next response. Go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead, you got it.
So that's interesting. Again, I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself. JD Vance is an opportunist. Bernie Sanders is an opportunist. Donald Trump is an opportunist. Jake, real quick, give me the name of a politician.
AOC.
Opportunist. Go ahead, try another one. Go ahead, Fatty, give me a name of a politician.
Nelson Mandela.
Opportunist. Right? How many times do I have to do it? We could sit here for the next 8 hours. You could name politicians and I'll say opportunists. Like I said that clearly the whole time. You're the person that's trying to imply that there are politicians that are opportunists when they're on the other side. And when they say things that clearly reek of opportunism, you're like, no. There's excuses for that. When you asked me if I think JD Vance was lying on this thing, two things could be true at the same time. I don't know if JD Vance was lying, but I 100% know that JD Vance is an opportunist.